Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about life path numbers and birth cards. So first we're going to start with life path numbers. So those are basically numbers that comes from the date of birth, and basically it's the path of life that was destined for you since you were born. So it's basically what you're here to do within yourself within this lifetime. So there's two ways you can do it. You can do it, I'll put a little calculator down below in the comments, so you can just do it that way and it'll tell you your life path number. If you necessarily don't want to use that, you can do it yourself, mathematical. I am not a math magician, so I prefer just to go ahead and do it, but I did write it down for you guys just in case you wanted to do it that way. So here I have mine. So November 22nd, 1994. That's my date of birth. And then you basically would, the 11 and 11 would stay the same. The 22 would stay the same. So you would take the 1994, you do 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4. And then you would get 23. Then you would do the 2 plus the 3, which is the 5. And then at that point, you would just take the 11 and the 22, and you would all add that together plus the 5. And then you would come out with the sum of 38. And then you would do 3 plus 8, and then you get the sum of 11. So my life path number is 11. Now, if your life path number is 11, we're going to go over what that means for you. Oh, us. But if not, then you can always Google, or you can comment below and I can do a separate video on your actual life path number. If you want, if you don't really understand what Google is saying, I can explain it to you a little easier, because I know sometimes when I Google things, how they're saying it, I don't really understand. And then when I see it on a different link and they reword it a different way, it's like, oh, okay, so that's what they were trying to say. So I know sometimes it's easier once someone else explains it other than, reading it from Google. So I have a couple notes here, so that's why you see me like looking down, because yeah. So right here I just have a little notepad with like the life path 11 and stuff. So right here it just says, 11s are considered doorways, and I never really noticed that until I actually read this on Google, and I was like, it actually does look like a door. Like if you put the number 11 and just look at it, it looks like a door. If you look at it from sideways or upside down, it looks more like a path, like a pathway or a bridge, or anything that brings you from one place to the next. So that's basically what the 11 is about. It's about doorways from one world to the next, and from one world to the next, more specifically from our world to the spirit world. So 11s are able to contact people on the other side. They're able to get messages from the spirit world. Some people are actually able to go to the other world. I've only been there in my dreams. I haven't mastered the art of actually going there when I am in my waking state, but it is different, but it also feels like you're just dreaming, if that makes sense. But in the dream you realize that it's not regular life, because there's some things that happen that wouldn't happen in regular life. Like from my experience, when I've done it in a dream, it actually felt like real life until I actually walked through the door, which is the pathway to the spirit world. And once I got there, it was different. Like it looked like my house, but dark and quiet and empty, and it's like a lot of sounds, but it's not home. Like it's not that homey type thing. It's just, you feel like you're home, but you're somewhere else type thing. So kind of sort of like this, best way I can explain it. So yeah, they're known as like pathways from one, from our world to the spirit world. I have some other notes here. because I wrote down like a whole bunch for this video. So just give me a second. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I wrote like a whole bunch. Okay, so it's also known as a master number, which is considered a master number because it comes from two numbers. So it comes from the number 1 and number 2. Reason being is the math, just the way they do the math of the life path number. But because it comes from two different numbers with two different opposite meanings, it is a little bit difficult for people that are a life path 11, because you're trying to master, basically, I say two different personalities because I feel like I have two different personalities, and reading, you know, like studying and reading all of the information on life path 11s, it kind of makes sense. It's basically two different energies, but it makes you feel like you're two different people, if that makes sense. So the first energy would be the energy from the number 1, which of course they got that because the number 11, 1 plus 1, you know, 11. It doesn't equal 11, but you know, you get the gist of it. 2 1s is an 11, so you get the 11, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, so you get the energy of 2 also. So the energy of 1 is an intense male warrior that's all about ambition and drive. So he's more so just focus on getting what he needs to get done, get his goals done, get his goals done, and just getting his dreams accomplished, basically. Now, the energy of the number 2 is a softer feminine energy, where she's more so focused on helping others and putting others first before she puts herself. It's the type of person where it's like, let me help her and then I can help myself later on, you know, like that type of thing. So you have these two energies that is going through you constantly without you even knowing it, and it affects you and it makes you feel indifferent, but it's just something you have to live with and you have to deal with. And that's why a lot of 11s are considered psychics or empaths or things of those sorts. And if they are not, either they didn't develop it and they're not trying to, you know, in tune with it, or they're using it and not even knowing it. Like for me, for instance, I've been using it for years and never knew. So that's the pretty much the 11 ordeal there. But let's see. And also highly sensitive and highly intuitive. So those are the type of people where if you feel like something is like, it doesn't sit right, I would ask an 11, because 9 times out of 10 they're gonna know before you even tell them what the problem is. They're gonna already know what you're trying to say, because their intuition is so spot on. And when the situation is not focused on you, it's easier, because when it's focused on you or around you, there's easy to let doubt get in. There's easy to let overthinking get in. It's like, well, maybe it's not that. But when it's focused solely on someone else, all you have to go on is instinct and your intuition. So that's why it's always easy to help others. And that's also why life path 11s are more so about helping others heal and things of those sort, because the gifts that you were born with are meant to help others. Like, you can help yourself too. It'll be a little more difficult, but its main focus is to help those around you. So, you know, that's a little study on that. And also, so yeah, it also requires you to build up an emotional shield, because sometimes it gets too much where you could be feeling overwhelmed. And a lot of times for a lot of 11s that are not knowing that they are 11s, they require a lot of alone time. And that's just because they feel so much throughout the day that they just feel drained, and they just need time for themselves, just isolation, so they can get their feelings into par and their thoughts into par, because you just feel overwhelmed where you just want to fucking cut your head off and just throw it in the dumpster somewhere because you get so overwhelmed with everything. So that is life path 11s. I think I covered everything. La, da, 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 da. Yes. So yeah, I covered mostly everything about that. About the number 11s. So yeah, that's tough, especially with empathic, because when you're alone it's easy, but when you're around people and you're feeling so much of everybody's energy and their moods and everything, it just, you get major headaches. Like, I hated it, because like at my last job I was with so many people all day every day, and I was constantly having headaches all the time after work, and it was just so overwhelming. I wanted to scream at the end of the day. But again, that's more to do with the emotional shield you have to put up for yourself to be able to deal. Another thing that I'm currently going through, off topic, is I consider the hot flashes, which medical terms is I'm too young for hot flashes, blah blah blah. But of course medical will not be able to detect empathic, because it goes more so with science doesn't really take psychics and all of those things serious. They just see it as hunches, they just see it as like deja vu type of thing. So there's no medical way of figuring out what the fuck is going on. But basically it's nothing too major. It's just when you have energy, like I said, that's going throughout your body all the time without you knowing, it kind of it gets overwhelming. And for me, I get hot. As you can see, my freaking ears are like totally red. And they're like that a lot of the time. And it's just, I don't understand it, because you would think it would be everything, but for me, like from the neck down, I'm normal, fine. The only thing that's hot on me right now is my ears and my face. And that's basically all the time. That's at night when I'm sleeping. Like, I sleep with a fan in front of my face and I'm still hot. But it's like, I don't want to take the covers off because all of this is cold. So it's like, I'm covered up to the neck here, but everything right here is hot. So I have like 3 fans blasting on me and I'm still freaking hot. And it just goes back to that energy that's flowing through you. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the birth cards. So I have my birth cards here in front of me. Again, I did mine. You can do this mathematical, like I said. You don't have to. I'll put the link below for that one also, so you can just do it and they'll give you the thing automatically. You would just have to, it's basically the same way. You would take your date of birth. So I have it written here. Now bear with me because I cannot read like this, but I'll try. So you just take it all, you add up all these digits, and then you get to the final number, and then you add up these digits and you get 11. I didn't say this, but they are using tarot cards for the birth card. So the 11th tarot card would be a Judgment. So this is my first birth card. And then you would take the 1 plus the 1 is 2, and that's the High Priestess. And then I have her here. So these 2 are my birth cards. So I have it written down here. It's not as long because I didn't want to write no big ass storybook on it, but it's just like a briefing. If you are Judgment and High Priestess, then you can listen to this because this is for you. If not, like I said, you can comment below. I can do a separate video on your birth cards. If you don't understand how they are explaining it to you, I don't mind. But let's see, for Judgment and High Priestess. So Judgment and High Priestess make for revelations in a leap of faith, which will be guided by the High Priestess. Judgment, as you know, represents rebirth and clear thinking. And then the High Priestess comes along and add a little bit of mystery to it because, as you know, the High Priestess stands for intuition and also knowing things that aren't revealed to you yet. So that's where the little mystery comes in, because there's things that you don't know that you're going to know. So yeah, so she's just there to add a little mystery to it. Their focus is on transcendent more so than commonplace. Together you can expect change, impressive growth, and intuitive awareness. So that's what the birth cards Judgment and High Priestess signifies together. So yeah, I'm just like, I've had these cards for, I feel like it's been a month now, and I'm like still obsessed. But you can see there's like a little, I use my cards a lot, and more so I use the major arcana a lot. So like these sides and stuff are starting to get, you know, like a little rough, and not as new, but I don't care, I still love them. They're so beautiful and so colorful. So yeah, so if you have any questions on birth cards or life path numbers and things in those sorts, just comment it below and I can answer them and help you with that. But that is all we're going to be talking about today. And I'm sorry about the delay on the videos. It's just been, I'm so tired of this pandemic. Like, I'm so tired of going to stores and getting to the door and having to turn around because I forgot my damn mask. Like, life. I did not picture this. And I just feel like this is going to happen for like 5+ years. And it's aggravating because they're trying to cancel everything, but also trying to open everything. So yeah. But that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on my next video. Have a good one.